I've always wanted to ride with you, Logan. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Hello and welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities from Marvel Comics to their MCU counterparts. And we are your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
I am a little bit more relaxed today.
That's good.
My mind is kind of clear.
I like how you rolled your eyes. You're like, kinda.
I mean, it's never clear.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
But knowing that I am not going anywhere
yeah.
tomorrow,
Yes.
like I'm not hopping on a flight, I'm not worried about like anything
Travel
related.
Travel anxiety.
I feel very, very great. I had a very busy last 3 weeks.
So I think we talked about this already, but you are not doing anything for July. Like, aside Deadpool and Wolverine, you're not going anywhere.
I don't
right?
have any work stuff scheduled now.
Yeah.
At least not travel wise.
Yeah.
Which is
That's nice.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
I come close to July and I start panicking.
Really?
Because it's so much.
Really?
Because it's like my busiest month always, for whatever reason. Well, previous years, it's been not only because of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But then there's always some freaking summer blockbuster from Marvel.
Yeah.
That ends up happening. And then everything else that's summer. And then, of course, work. But then, the last couple of years, I had actually been doing 2 conventions in a month. And that is so hard.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. And so I used to be flying from here to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then back and then go to San Diego or vice versa. This time, the convention, GalaxyCon Raleigh, is the same weekend as Comic-Con.
Oh, so you had to...
Yeah, I was like, all right.
You had to
I was
choose.
like, sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
And so thankfully, but also sadly, I'm not going to be at that convention. And Midsummer Scream is the same weekend. So I don't know who did that, but I was like, that's not a good call, I think. But
like a con during the biggest con
ever. Yeah, exactly. It's so crazy. It's,
like, no disrespect to other cons,
for
but
sure. Yeah, like wow.
But yeah,
So whoo.
traveling is exhausting.
Yes.
I think, and Sam will tell you this too. Like, if there's a schedule and there's times that need to be hit, I will adhere to those like Bible. So when things it's either something's delayed, we're not, and I know most of it's out of our control, but it's also just kind of like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
So yeah, that's my little travel rant.
Yeah.
Unless it's interesting enough, but other than that,
Travel is
exhausting.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good. At least now you don't have to worry about it until possibly
We'll
August.
see. I hope, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll
I do like traveling, exploring new places.
Yeah.
Or even going to places that, I've been to before, but I fall in love with it again. Like, I fell in love with Chicago again. And now I'm like, I feel comfortable in that city.
Yeah.
It's also when they filmed The Dark Knight. It's also like half the reason why I'm so excited to go. I know there's a Marvel podcast. I was like, oh my God, Batman was there.
Jeff, this is a Marvel podcast.
Yeah, well, I'm unbiased.
Yeah. This is true. So if you hadn't noticed yet, welcome to Mini Marvel number 14, where we talk about the broader Marvel universe.
Wow.
And the MCU's hot topics. We love Batman. It's okay. We're just kidding. Also, real quick, I called our X-Men 97 episode a Mini Marvel. It was totally not a Mini Marvel, but look, it's been a year, so I'm just going to roll with it. But yeah, so yeah, welcome to Mini Marvel number 14. Let's just roll into it, I guess. First and foremost, I wanted to give a shout out to Holly Chow, the brilliant voice actress behind Jubilee herself. She introduced our Jubilee character study for episode number 83. And so it was a totally, shoot your shot moment, a very last minute ask, and Holly came through in a pinch. So thank you so much again, Holly, for doing that. And so what's kind of remarkable is that our intro roster from this season alone has been pretty amazing, all thanks to the excellent X-Men, which of course includes episode 76 with Rogue, featuring Lenore Zan, Rogue herself. Episode 78, Mini Marvel number 13 with Eric and Julia Lewald. Episode 82, Gambit, featuring AJ Locascio. And then, of course, 83 with Holly Chow ahead of Jubilee. not to be set aside, of course, way back when we had that episode 27 Morbius introduction from Jared Leto. So yeah.
I posted it right on Instagram where I was like, Dai's collecting these these voice intros.
Yeah.
Like Infinity Stones.
Infinity Stones, yes. And related to podcast stuff, I wanted to give a shout out to listener Kevin on Twitter, who I'm not sure how recent he started listening, but he checked out our Jubilee episode and had some notes. And I was like, yeah, you're right. He made some great points about her parents and stuff, and we were kind of going back and forth for a little bit, but he said he enjoyed the episode a lot. Wow. And he can't wait to listen to the other ones. And so what's that face? Jeff.
I can't wait to listen. I'm like, oh god, we gotta
I know.
Got to be on our game.
I know. I'm like, oh God, how far? But yeah, so thanks, Kevin, and we hope that everything you've listened to or going to listen to, you'll enjoy. So yeah, thank you so much. All that said, I guess we can move forward into notable news in the Marvel universe. So there's a few things that we're going to chat about today, but First and foremost, things are getting hot, no pun intended, with the Fantastic Four. Joseph Quinn is officially hitting the gym for the role. Did you see this? Like, he's like working out, he's doing his thing. And so he is, of course, one of the stars of A Quiet Place, the prequel.
Day one, I think.
Yeah, Day one with Lupita Nyong'o. And so he's clearly on the track for that, but he's getting into shape for old Johnny Storm, which is, of course, originally portrayed by
his head
Chris
is
Evans.
shaved, correct?
Yeah, it's shaved. So yeah, he's ready, and filming is anticipated to begin July. We officially have a date now, July 29th of this year.
Right after Comic-Con.
The day after Comic-Con. It's official. So we'll see what transpires. But yeah, so Jeff and I were talking, speaking about Comic-Con, that we we trying to coordinate watching Deadpool and Wolverine, and it got to the point where it was just like, what if? What if ... I drove back from Comic-Con to watch it with Jeff at the El Capitan fan event, and then drove back, and it was like, what was it? It was like I would have
It was an all-day venture.
It was quite literally an all-day venture because it would take me 4 hours each way to get to the event from San Diego, and it was just not going to happen, which is sad. But
yeah, and like, I mean, I asked you before just to make sure, but then like the seat that I chose,
yeah,
for the showing that I did, it's literally it was a single seat. It was the only single seat available.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why.
Wow.
It was like a single seat in the middle.
Yeah,
not in the front, but like in the middle. Just
yeah,
and I was just like, this is, I guess this is what I have to do here. I guess.
That's so good. That's great. No, it's gonna be fun. I really do think that they're gonna. They might not even show up for San Diego. They'll probably show up for that. Somebody will show up for that.
Look, my showing's Friday. I'm assuming the Marvel panel.
Oh, it's on Friday. You're not going Thursday.
Thursday.
I thought it was Friday. Thursday.
It is
okay,
Thursday.
It is Thursday.
I am tweaking, but
yeah.
And then if that's Thursday, then they can easily make the Marvel panel.
Oh yeah.
On Thursday, on Saturday.
Sure. They just took the train down or private plane it. I don't know what they do, but yeah, no, that's gonna be super fun. So while Fantastic Four is just about to get started, Thunderbolts *
with an asterisk, yes,
had apparently wrapped filming. And I think it was just confirmed like the other day. I think it was last week. So multiple reports had been saying, oh, they finished filming on June 12th. And it was like, no. They finished filming in Utah on June 12th. But they actually finished filming the film itself just last week. So about, I don't know, June 16th or 17th, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. not a peep out of them about any of it. No leaks, nothing. It's kind of crazy. I mean, like, we got leaks from reshoots from Captain America. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we still have not seen a peep out of Thunderbolts. It's so insane.
It has to
me.
be because
it's all enclosed.
all in studio. Yeah.
That's so wild.
That's fine with me.
Oh, I'm good with it. But I'm also like, really? This feels very like...
Especially with all the... Not to get off the Marvel horse again, all the Superman leaks.
The Superman stuff, I know. Well, I looked at 3 pictures and I was like, that's cool. And immediately my For You page was all DC. I was like, oh.
I've seen almost every single character.
I know. It's crazy. They all look
people
great
are
to
judging
me.
the movie just
of
off
course.
these leaks.
Oh, yeah. That's when I knew I had to stop. I was like, okay, I'm not looking at these anymore because everybody that's posting them or commenting, oh, his suit is mid.
Yeah,
we lost it.
Schneider.
Yeah. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
It's quite literally like.
But yeah, nothing from Thunderbolts, which is except for that one video we got from Flo.
From
and that's
Flo,
pretty much it.
Yeah. And then these pictures of Sebastian Stan that you can't quite time, but there is another character that's in the film in those pictures with him. But you're like, it's wild. I'm just stunned considering how big the ensemble is.
Yeah,
it's so stunning. I'm like actually impressed by it.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they bring anything to Comic-Con, I'm hoping it's Captain America and Thunderbolts. I'm pretty sure
you're gonna get a first look.
Maybe, yeah. That
easily.
Anything that they brought to CinemaCon or the Disney, whatever it was, those things, and then probably Agatha.
Yeah, you might get it. You guys might get more.
Yeah.
You guys might get
Agatha,
you guys might get a first
Ironheart,
look.
Yeah. And What If Season 3? I think that's... Well, I take that back. I think they'll bring Marvel animation again, like they did in 2022, and then they'll have What If there with possibly Season 2 of X-Men 97.
I was gonna say maybe Season 2.
Mm-hmm. And then for live action, they'll do the other.
But they also have D23.
Exactly.
So they can't show everything.
Yeah, so we'll see, I guess.
I feel like the ensemble of Thunderbolts asterisk is gonna be at Comic-Con.
I hope so.
I feel like
I really do.
But
you think that ahead of Captain America?
They might do the same thing. Maybe Captain America maybe Thunderbolts ties into Captain America. Or
everybody
vice versa.
wishes, but they're like, no, it's not happening. And I was like, really?
I think they're gonna
Giancarlo Esposito,
because they're gonna announce whatever Captain America. They're gonna go through the time. He's gonna go through the timeline. He's gonna say, "We got
like on the boys."
Yeah. We got this thing. So they're like, "Oh, Captain America." Da da da. He's gonna bring out the director. He's gonna bring out Anthony Mackie. Maybe low chance, but Harrison Ford. Maybe. Maybe Giancarlo. Yeah. And then boom.
Giancarlo loves this stuff.
And then boom, first look. It might be like a 30, 60 second type thing. One that you could only see if you're in Hall H, which is, and there's going to be people that write about it, what they saw, da-da-da-da.
Sure.
And then boom, they go.
Some 20-degree angle of the
It's easier now, you can do it.
Yeah.
I remember when the first Infinity War, first look came out, I downloaded that thing it was a Dutch angle. I was just like, oh my God. And I was so hyped though.
I think I did that for Guardians 2 or something that wasn't in the hall.
I remember
for.
Guardians 3 too, like the first look for Guardians
3. Yeah, it was that one. It was that one.
Yeah, and then boom, they go out the stage and then you may have heard we have this small movie coming up, Thunderbolts, starring blah 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 blah, everybody, known a man.
Oh my God.
And then he's like, so you probably know that Yelena's in it. Boom, Flo comes out and then he goes he announces at least 5
because she was not there in person for the D23 one. They were all there except for her. She did the video thing. So I'm hoping this will be the first time
she appears.
They're actually together.
I feel like there's going to be a good amount of the ensemble and who's in there.
That'd be really great.
Maybe, and also the actor who plays that Stephen Yeun was supposed to play.
Oh yes,
Sentry.
Yeah. I don't remember his real name.
Yeah, but I feel like at Comic-Con that's where they have to. A lot of actors, a lot of the actors and directors, whatever. Yeah. Whereas D23, they do that, I think, but I feel like it's much more
Would it be
impactful at
would it be
Comic-Con.
yeah? Would it be crazy to think they do indeed bring Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts Asterix and Agatha or whatever to Hall H, but they actually save Fantastic Four for D23
That would
because they'll have been filming.
That
by
would make
then.
the most sense. Or maybe they'll get like,
Yeah.
maybe at D23 they'll get like a video
Yeah.
of the cast
Right.
in their
Outfit.
maybe, or maybe just in on set, whatever,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying like, sorry, we can't be there. Obviously, you can't
Yeah.
be here. We're freaking filming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like they would say Fantastic Four for D23.
Yeah.
That makes the most
That
sense.
makes sense to me.
Whereas the movies that have been filmed, shot already, they would give you guys a first.
And
Like,
Daredevil. I think they would take Daredevil. Oh. Yeah.
that could go both ways. Actually, I
Yeah.
feel like Daredevil they could show at either one of each
Yeah.
or both.
I'm ready.
But I think Charlie and Vincent love Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they
Charlie is like a convention professional.
So I feel like they would be like they
Yeah.
would come out for Comic-Con.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Ooh, and announcing Jessica Jones. What?
You really want her?
I saw another stupid like tweet the other.
I mean,
like,
she
yesterday.
also quoted, yeah.
She's constantly
She was like,
posting things.
hey, if they want it, I'm down.
And she. I mean, that's all she says. That's literally all she says. And then she'll post something from Jessica Jones, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then she has it saved because I mean she's posted multiple times. There's a filter on Instagram or Snapchat too that you can change your hair to purple, and that was her hair color as Jewel. So she constantly uses that filter, and I'm like,
I think she makes.
what are you doing?
I think she makes an appearance
100%.
in Daredevil.
I think she does too. But yeah, I hope that whatever they end up bringing is well worth it because this will be like
The first,
because they skipped last
yeah,
year. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
So they
Like,
have to.
You got to bring something back.
Yeah.
You just have to.
You have to bring a reason again to
Yeah.
be like, why are we here?
Right.
If you're opting to come back to Hall H,
Yeah.
you gotta like.
They have to.
Yeah.
It's just.
Same thing with D23. So I think there's going to be a lot of X-Men
Yeah.
and all that other stuff that they've shot already.
They better.
Yeah.
It'll be, yeah, because already I feel like, because again, I did not get a ticket for the offsite discussion. So their film day, whatever it was, I don't have tickets to that. So I'm going to be here at home just watching it online like every other schmuck. And so I'm like considering how big of a sort of a, you know, like a hullabaloo that already turned into.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't risk not bringing it to San Diego, but you know, what do I know? I'm just an unpaid intern as far as this is all concerned. Yeah, so the hype is real. We'll see what exclusives come out. They haven't announced anything as far as their giveaways and their exclusive merchandise or anything, but I anticipate it to be very Deadpool Wolverine, very X-Men skewed. Maybe some Captain America stuff, considering McDonald's already blew the lid off of that one.
Yeah.
Did you look at the pictures of the Happy Meal box?
Yeah.
I was like, they're full on spoilers. I was like, well, I know what that person looks like in the movie. Oh, that person's in the movie too. Okay, got it. I was like, wow.
I've seen some Deadpool Wolverine Funkos already.
Yes.
The merch game goes crazy.
It's so ahead.
Dude, I need to. I mean, speaking of like merch and all these collectibles and stuff.
Yeah.
I looked in my room today. I was just like, dude, I need to find a place to put everything because Sam's getting annoyed with me. She's like, "What are you gonna hang this or what? Are you gonna frame this or what?"
Oh no.
And I'm like, I mean, I want to. I just there's nowhere to put it, and
Why? Where do you put it?
it's
Where do
kind
you
of
put
just.
stuff?
Well, like I have a Doctor Strange popcorn bucket
Yeah.
that we've got when we went to Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff is in there.
Yeah.
I have things in a bag, and it's just
But it's out. You can see it.
yes.
You can't put it somewhere. Is it a big bag?
It's like an average size. It's just things are scattered,
Got it.
organized,
Yeah.
but just they're not hung up or they're not
Sure.
stored anywhere.
Got it.
So I need to figure out.
Go to IKEA. Get
I
a
might
good
need to
frame.
get some like either frames or if I can't frame it now, because I have so many posters over the years that we've gone to all these events and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I might get like a thing like a box, like one of those plastic bins so I can slide it under my bed just so I can just store stuff.
Yeah.
So I need to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, oh God.
Just mosey on down to a store. You got it. You're done.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm so lazy. But
It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be worth it. I can't imagine what she thought when she came to my house. And this is not even this isn't
well, at
even
least you have a garage to store things.
I have a way about.
But it's just like imagine
stuff.
like here,
Yeah.
like and there's like a box there,
Yeah.
a bag,
Yeah.
here,
I got it.
and like the stuff is hung up here, so it's kind of like okay, yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
But then there's just like what are you gonna do with this?
Sure.
Yeah.
It'll all resolve in time. What are you going to hang? Are you going to hang up everything or just one or two things?
I have a bunch of different sized posters, like the Eternals one. Remember that one?
Oh yeah,
it's like
you have
long.
that Avengers one too.
Yeah, and it's
that you
just
got
like
from
long. I have a
Yeah.
I want to probably do something like this because I have a wall in my room where it's just a blank wall, but the way that it's like angled where my bed is, it's not centered. So putting just one thing there wouldn't make sense. So now I can put like just organize a bunch of different frames and stuff.
Yep.
Just be the ultimate nerd and just have posters. So I just have to buy like matching frames for it.
Yep.
And I just got to do the work. I'm lazy. I'm so lazy.
Well, moving on. I feel like once this game comes back, I'm gonna turn into a major couch potato because Marvel versus Capcom is alive and well. And so last week, the company's multiple outlets announced that this beloved series was being reissued with 7 games. And so the big issue that happened here is that back in the day, Capcom lost the rights to the Marvel characters, so they were not allowed to reproduce the games in their glory as they once were, let alone sell copies of this, this game in perpetuity. So the list of games that are being reissued include X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, as well as the Punisher game, which was in arcades for whatever reason. I don't know really why. They're just kind of nesting it in, but I guess it's because of the Marvel property. But yeah, it's been a minute since all of these games have been available in this capacity, so it's really exciting. All of the art that was never released in high quality is officially going to be available with the game itself, and it comes with all these other features and online play. It's about to get so real. I'm so excited. These are amazing games. So I know fighting games aren't your thing.
I didn't play like much of them. Like I played like whenever I would go at friends' houses, cousins' houses, and play like Super Mario Bros. Some like Tekken, and some Marvel vs. Capcom, but never was like invested into it. I sucked at fighting games, like the arcade fighting games.
Sure. Yeah, the Marvel ones in particular, the ones that didn't actually have anything to do with Street Fighter, are quite good. Like they're very iconic in their own way, and it took a very Eastern take on Western characters. Yeah. And so the way that we generally imagine these characters to look was spun on its head, and they were made more anime manga looking like. Yeah. And usually, I mean, sometimes that just doesn't work, but it worked with Capcom because they fit into the Street Fighter universe so well. Yeah. So X-Men Children of the Atom and then Marvel Superheroes in particular, they were the first two out the gate. X-Men Children of the Atom was great. It was quite literally just X-Men. So it was a core team of Cyclops, Storm, Psylocke, Colossus, and Wolverine. Whoa. And you can choose from those characters, and you had to fight Sentinel, Apocalypse, I think, was in that. Damn. Yeah. And then with Marvel superheroes that introduced Gambit and Spidey and Cable and a few other characters. And I think Onslaught was the villain for that one. And so that's the Magneto Professor X hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah, it was dope. So from there, then they just crossed over with X-Men and it turned into a whole thing. And so, yeah, so the game will be coming out this year. There's no release date yet, but you know what? I'm just like, take my money. I take all my money. I don't know what they're going to release, but there is going to be a physical version. I'm sure they're going to go to town with it. The consoles currently include Nintendo Switch, PS4, which that's presumably with PS5 retroactive play.
Got it.
And Steam only. There's no Xbox edition.
Wow.
I know.
It's okay. I have both.
Xbox and yeah, there
I have
you
Xbox
go.
and PS5.
Yeah, Xbox and PC kind of got left in the dust, but
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Sadly, but yeah, you know, I'm super excited for that. I'm hoping that they'll have something at Comic-Con too for this, because again, fits right in with all the X-Men hype that's coming out.
Speaking of Comic-Con, I hope they do another
Kith?
not a streetwear brand collab.
Brand, yeah.
Oh,
I know. It's if they're
that
gonna
was
announce.
so good, man.
I know. I feel like nothing's gonna top the X-Men one unless they do another X-Men one, but like extend the roster, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know how. I don't know. But if they're gonna announce
that
anything,
activation was cool. The way you can
so
get
cool.
things are cool. Thank God you're there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like if someone's gonna do it, be it Kith or someone else, it's gonna come out in the next couple of weeks. If not, oh, well, guess not. Guess not this time. But yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed. And so finally, I have one more note on here as far as Marvel news and specifically MCU news is concerned. So apparently Lord Feige dropped some news on the official Marvel podcast, which debuted this week. And some of the updates regarding many of the MCU's anticipated projects came through. Now, he didn't drop all of this information that we're about to talk about himself. These first three, I saw floating in the ether, and so Namor is apparently still being pursued. So
I didn't hear him talk because I listened to it before I came here.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
Right, I'm not sure where the sources for these came from. Like it seems to be coming through the pipeline. But so apparently Namor, a solo movie for Namor, is still being pursued, but Okoye's series may be canceled because Okoye was supposed to have her own spin-off series on Disney Plus, kind of like the rest of like Moon Knight and all of them, but apparently that may be canceled, and then there was going to be a separate Midnight Angels series as well. I feel like it could have easily been one and the same. I don't know if maybe it was the same thing, but probably going to be canceled.
Yeah.
In the very least. So unfortunately, we might not be able to see any of that pan out. And it might just be looped into whatever next Black Panther project is coming out. Because I think Letitia Wright was actually quoted today or something about she's excited to come back to the Black Panther franchise. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so all that, sad. And then, of course, Blade is gone through its latest debacle of losing another director. And so, I'm not sure. And Mahershala is not happy, apparently. So that's not great news either. We might lose Blade, and we might lose more of the staff on that film because
just getting it got announced in 2019.
Push. Yeah,
you believe
exactly. Like I have the screen. I was going through my photos.
Yeah,
and I forgot what I was looking for, but I came across all of my San Diego photos from that year where they teased the logo and he came out, and I was like, oh my God, it was forever ago. The movie should be out by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and yet.
Can't even get a script locked down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. I have my predictions that different from what I've seen, like on Twitter and stuff, like how people are perceiving it. But yeah. I'm just like, yeah,
yeah. You know how the socials be.
I was like, I don't know if it. I mean, I don't know if it was like a Marvel thing, or it's like a Mahershala thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, I'm not very concerned, but it's unfortunate because Blade is such a great property, and there has not been, aside the game that's coming out, there hasn't, well, I take that back. Aside games, we haven't seen Blade in pop culture live action for so long. And the Wesley Snipes films are great. They're fantastic, really. I think one and two were solid. 3 was fun because, you know,
people loved him.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in the third one, I believe. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of all 3 of them. I liked them all. But they were a very long time ago at this point. So it's kind of like, damn, we have not seen this vampire dude for forever. And so it's disheartening that we might not see a Blade film anytime before 2026 at this rate. Like, this might be more of a 2030. Yeah. So I don't know. But what Feige did discuss on the podcast was the Fantastic Four, which is officially confirmed to be set in the 1960s of an alternate universe beyond the Prime timeline. So that's going to be very interesting. Again, it brings up the discourse and the discussion how Stephen, like I know him, Doctor Strange, like Doctor Strange brought up in Multiverse of Madness to John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic.
Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?
Right. So it's like, huh? And so Andrew actually brought that up to me, and I said, well, that's interesting because, of course, it's based off of like 15 seconds of dialogue. Yeah. But he doesn't necessarily recognize him per se. Not that Stephen would have been alive during that time anyway. You'd presume he's born in the 70s, 80s. Yeah. And even then he might just know because of, you know, he's been educated along the way that, oh, the Fantastic Four did this thing in the 60s, and he's like, cool, you know. Yeah. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they pull it all together, or fill in the gap rather, for that.
I know. Poor John Krasinski.
I don't know. I think he said he was cool with it, right?
I mean, yeah,
he was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think also people don't realize, like, I mean, this is coming from me, also from someone like who didn't grow up on the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my first iteration of Fantastic Four was obviously the 2000.
Oh yeah,
2
with Johan Grufford.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I didn't know how big Fantastic Four is. Like how dense their comic.
Marvel's first family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So it's like, so seeing like just John Krasinski playing just a version of it, I'm like, all right, cool cameo. Like, it's sick.
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, obviously people are like, oh, we want more of it, need more of it. I'm like, I mean, it is what it was, you know?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think it was a solid representation too. Like, the suit was great, and him as Reed Richards was also very believable. But I'm not married to it to the point where I'm like, no, Pedro Pascal, who? Like, no, it's a multiverse. It can happen. Yeah. It's fine.
I wonder how Pedro Pascal's gonna...
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah.
But again, like, when, you know, not revisiting, because what I've absorbed of the man is absorbed as it is, but with new things that he releases, like he did I forgot, it was a Corona or something.
Oh, the Corona ad.
Yeah,
yes.
the Corona ad. Because it's so fresh, now I'm like thinking, okay, Reed Richards, And so I take in the content and I'm like, I can see it. It's like fun.
And I feel like we've seen Pedro, like, the man has range.
He is super duper.
So it's
people
like,
who say he doesn't,
yeah,
they've never
because
seen
one,
Narcos.
he plays the Mandalorian, and yes, you don't see his face, but you can hear it in his voice.
His voice is
like, listen to his
character.
voice in the Mandalorian, and listen and watch how he plays Joel.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, this the same person,
right?
Yeah.
And even again, like, Narcos was my first introduction to him, and I didn't think I was gonna like Narcos because I was like, oh, it's not really my thing, like watching that sort of genre.
Yeah.
But I stuck to it. I watched the entire thing, and I was like, he's really good. And of course, I go further back with him than that with Game of Thrones. So that was my very, very first exposure to him, but he wasn't in it as much.
Yes.
So his first full, like, performance for me was Narcos, and he was so good. And it was almost hard for me to believe it was the same guy that was in Game of Thrones. Speak nothing of then him bouncing in and out of all these other things he's done since. So when I watched the Corona commercial, I was like, even this, I'm like, I could see Reed Richards. Maybe I'm just too easy, but I'm like, no, he's definitely got a great range to him. So I'm not even the least bit worried. But Krasinski was definitely my dude. I definitely was on that train.
That fan cast, yeah.
100%. I was like, I would love to see him come through and be Reed Richards. And I was a little sad that he didn't get to continue, but I'm not mad at Pedro either.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's great.
I mean, that cast, again, going back to that cast.
Yeah. No, solid.
Gosh.
Vanessa Kirby's going to ruin lives. I can't wait.
I just watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 on a plane. And then I was like, oh, Vanessa Kirby. And I was like,
she's so good in that
love
movie.
her.
She's so good.
And then Joseph Quinn, obviously, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Texting, saying like he's preparing by lighting himself on fire.
Yes, that's right.
And then someone asked Eben Moss,
yeah,
how are you? Like, oh, I've just been looking at a bunch of rocks.
how are you preparing for your role? Oh, you know, looking at rocks.
Imagine. And also Eben Moss, The Bear season 3 is also out.
Can't wait.
I was like, and then I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna be like, damn, Richie's a superhero.
Yeah, right? Like, but it's gonna be great because, you know, like, he was in the Punisher series before, and so his performance in that series was also really good. His character was frustrating as hell, but he himself was a great actor already. And then the Bear just elevated it times a billion, and I'm sure he's done other stuff that's amazing. I've not seen it, but he was just so good in the Bear that now I'm gonna watch season 3, just like how this Corona thing with Pedro. I'm gonna watch season 3, and my brain is gonna be like,
that's Ben Grimm right there.
Ben Grimm, cousin. Okay, cousin.
Yeah.
Okay, your chef.
And then Galactus is.
Yes, I'll never get over that. I have not gotten over.
Yeah,
that.
you sent people on Twitter sent me, like, we're posting that clip of if you're wondering if he's fit for Galactus, this is his voice.
It's so incredible.
And I was like waiting for it, and then he talked, and I was like, oh God, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's intense, and so I think what I'm mostly curious of is how he will look visually, because, I mean, let's be honest, with the Eternals, they were a great display of their capacity to create these gigantic characters, like literally gigantic characters. Of course, you know, the Celestials have been in other movies, but Eternals was really the one where we finally got to see them multiple,
and how big they are.
In the space of quote unquote normal sized humans.
Yeah.
So how they end up representing Galactus in his scope and scale that isn't a freaking cloud in space.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, because he was a cloud, right?
Yeah, he was just a mass, like a ghastly.
But it's really a dude with a.
Yeah,
he's a staff and everything.
He's a giant purple and cerulean looking dude. But he does have he has human like features, and so how they depict that is going to be interesting. And and what's her name too as a Silver Surfer is going to be very interesting.
Ladies,
so Julia Garner. So I'm curious. I think they're going to be more modern, quote unquote, modern time. And then the family themselves will be 60s, and then something happens.
Something happens indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so excited.
So stoked. Do we know where they're filming? Did Feige mention? So London Studios. So it's all mostly interior, I guess. Because that's where they film all the...
There might be some exterior stuff, which will probably get leaked at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, London Studios.
Yeah.
Or wherever they, because that's where they filmed. That's where they filmed Guardians.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and a lot of movies. I think Jurassic Park films were filmed there. All the big FX and practical effects seem to go across the pond.
So
it'll be exciting. I can't wait till we start talking about the Fantastic Four. It's gonna be so fun. I mean, like we could do it now, but
Yeah,
I know we gotta
can't.
wait for like the re-entry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, always excited for the Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. And then last but not least, so yeah, somebody finally acknowledged the Wonder Man series. And so this was crazy because it was kind of a moment of like, wait, they finished filming already? Wait, it exists already? And so
It exists.
that was the rumor, was that it does very much exist. Like he has already completed the series, I guess.
Oh, is it?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if what he said on the podcast.
I feel like he said it like it's like oh, it's a thing. I don't know if he said it.
So strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard rumors that it was already completed, but I mean, again, it's a rumor. But yeah, starring Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. So yeah, Feige was quoted saying it's extremely different than anything we've done before. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because when the last time they said that, we got Werewolf by Night. You know what I mean? And that was so, to me, a knockout of the park because it was very different from anything they'd ever done. So if they're venturing, and WandaVision for the record, WandaVision was also in a league of its own.
Yeah.
And so with them saying that about Wonder Man now, I'm like, what could they possibly?
That thing has more traction than Blade, if we're being completely honest.
I know, right? Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So excited.
Oh, it's just
I'm telling you, once like Deadpool and Wolverine is released,
Yeah.
things are gonna snowball
yeah.
into just
Yeah.
either chaos or really amazing
Yeah.
controlled chaos.
Well, and he did briefly mention something about Deadpool and Wolverine being that like seasons 1 and 2 of Loki and the crossover there with Deadpool and Wolverine isn't the only portion of the MCU they're going to touch. And so, of course, the Foxverse and such are going to be in there in the mix somewhere, but he said that there's more to it. And of course, today, as of this recording that we're recording, Ryan Reynolds posted that ambiguous flag of the Avengers
I know.
logo.
I was
with
like,
the-
that's
with
weird.
the anarchy symbol on top of it. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's probably part of the Ant-Man scene, but I don't know. I don't know. We've been getting a lot of drops about how Downey wouldn't mind coming back, and
Look, Ryan Reynolds is promoting
Yeah.
the crap out of this
yeah.
film.
Yes, he
or they
is.
both are, actually.
yes, he is.
But, man.
So Jeff,
Oh, gosh.
as I bring it over.
Dai's holding something.
Speaking of Deadpool, I got that Aviation American Gin.
Oh, my
Deadpool
gosh.
version.
It has
an
like
etching.
a drawing etching, yes, of Deadpool
It's the
giving heart hands.
It's the super duper limited edition version
wow.
of the bottle. So it's speaking of Ryan Reynolds just promoting his butt off for this film. He is
This
obviously
looks so cool.
he has
I don't
also
even drink gin.
I know I'm gonna have to make us something. I was gonna mix us something before the show, but he has, of course, in true Ryan Reynolds marketing genius form, made his own collaboration with his own gin
With his own
company.
brand, jeez.
And so he has a limited edition run of Deadpool themed aviation gin, which has, the emblem on the label and on the stickers on top as well. But there is a very limited edition that you can get from, I believe it was Nestor Liquor, where they will etch a Heart Hands Deadpool onto the bottle for you.
Ooh.
So it's the only place that you can get it. And so, yeah, if you really want it, yeah, I would get it. And I did. So let me just, Nestor Liquor. So Nestor Liquor, Nestor Liquor. You can get yourself a very limited edition Etch-a-Sketch Deadpool. It's fun. I've not opened it yet, clearly, because I was waiting for Jeff. And we're going to try it together.
Yeah.
And
Are we going to
so-
try it straight first?
No, we don't have to.
Okay.
We can mix it with something.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, so that's super duper exciting. Good stuff. Deadpool's really gonna blow the roof
I'm
off
so
this.
excited. It needs to. It's literally a month from now.
But also, the premieres in New York, July 22nd.
New York.
22nd. So
New York.
New York. And so
That's where they're both
unfortunately-
probably living. That's why.
I don't doubt it. But also that means we have to brave 3 days and hope that the embargo doesn't lift
It's gonna
too soon.
It's gonna be. It's just gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be like the.
It's gonna be a flood of spoilers, man.
The non-spoiler, like where people say like, Deadpool Wolverine is XYZ. It's full of this and a lot of this.
X-Men YZ.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm. Oh God. Yeah. I'm basically
That
not
week's
be on
gonna go
social
by
media.
so slow.
It's gonna be intense. I'm just hoping I'm gonna be too busy to notice anything, to be perfectly honest, until I've seen the film myself, which I will be watching at Comic-Con. So yeah. So all that said, next up on the show, Jeff and I are still on our X-Men streak.
You goddamn right.
And as promised, we were going to venture into Deadpool land. So join us right back here 2 weeks from now as we start to segue a little further into the weeds toward Deadpool's Corner of the Universe with Pyotr Rasputin, a.k.a. Colossus, for our next character study. So...
Hell yeah.
With that is the end of the show. Thanks for listening, and a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, and a We Are Groot salute to Edgar, Andrea, Ashley, Ariel, Andrew, Tyler, Melanie, Joe, Liz, Robin, Ed, Laura, Jenny, Chris, Nats, Katie, and Sherry. Follow us on social, STRKC and TRST, and if you like what you hear, review, rate, and subscribe.
Woo! Once again, thanks for listening. We will catch y'all in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
What are you? We are.
We're Venom!
We are.
Venom!